I was so impressed with this palette the other day. Amazing. It's $12. $12. So I want to use it a couple times this week. But I kind of want to do these types of colors today. Maybe a little bit of this in the crease. But to make sure that it doesn't go too neutral, I want to use this. So we're going to start with a base closer to our skin tone. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this. Notice that I'm not going on my lid. We'll just go from the crease up to the brow bone. And if you're wondering how I go around my brow, because I do have these hair-like strokes going on here, I'll take my brush and I just kind of lightly tap it all the way into the actual brow. And I designed this brush for that particular reason. You'll see, you can see right there, it's really nice and slanted. So it just kind of fits in here. And the bristles do not hold a ton of product. So I'm not taking a ton of that eyeshadow base and putting it in there. It's kind of like my same technique where I'll go over everything later. It's about how much is on the brush. Okay, now we're gonna do some fun stuff. So I'm just gonna use the same brush, if I can find it. And then I'll put a little bit of this on the back of my hand. I'll show you how much, because honestly, a little bit is going to go such a long way. And let's grab that. And I don't mind if a little bit of the neutral mixes in, but we'll take that all over the lid. And this is a really fun way to just kind of reinvent what you might already have in your collection. Just grab maybe your favorite color in one of these bases, because there's a blue one, a pink one, a green one, and just kind of mix that in, because you're thinking, oh, what is that going to do? Well, even just this little bit of extra color underneath that eyeshadow is really going to change the color, shift it towards more green, more vibrant. Honestly, it's kind of pretty on its own. We could just put some white eyeshadow on top and it'd be really, really pretty. But I want to show you how I'm going to blend it. There you go. Doesn't have to be blended perfectly like our eyeshadow will later, because it is going to get covered, but you do want to make sure it's nice and smooth. Look at how pigmented. I'm telling y'all, this palette for only 12 bucks, it's pretty amazing. So I'm just going to take this color on an E28 and I'm just going to press it on top. That's so pretty. So with all of the bases that I use, they're usually a very tacky formula. So you're going to see a lot of pressing. And not only is that kind of building the color, but it's also starting to transition. And it transitions so smoothly. I'm telling y'all, tapping's the way to go. Now I'm going to grab, I can't decide, let's do a little bit of transition. Actually, let's see how dark this one is. And then we'll come back. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Just a little bit of definition. We could always use this color to transition, but just a little bit of it. It just depends on how much you pick up on your brush. Now you can pick up quite a bit and really get some pigment going on, or you can just pick up a little bit and transition. So that's how, hang on, I gotta tell you this. Let me gather my thoughts, because it's gonna be good. Basically, any color in this palette is a transition color. It just depends on how much you pick up. If I go into the red, which I'm not gonna do because I'm not in the mood for a Christmas look, but say I wanted to transition with red, the red actually looks, here it is, it actually looks a lot darker than this color, right? Well, it really just depends on how much I pick up. If I go in like this, I'm gonna pick up way too much. It's gonna be as pigmented here as it is in the pan. But if you just do one tap and you start with that and you build that up, you can transition any look with the darkest shade in your palette. I kind of show this technique all of the time. So I'm gonna pick this up here, same shade we've been using. I'm going to pick that up on the tip of the brush and I'm really gonna build it up, and it's gonna be darker than our lid shade. But once I have that place, I'm gonna wipe my brush off on Sheila. Sheila's not a cat or an animal, it's my makeup towel. Remember, these don't pick up a lot of product, so you're able to switch back and forth. But now I'm just gonna use the side, and it's gonna start to transition it. And you're gonna get a lighter version of this color, the color that we're using. So a lot of times, you don't have to have 4 or 5 eyeshadows. I remember when I used to go to MAC, they would always try to sell you 4 to 5 eyeshadows because they wanted to transition each one. But right now it looks like I have maybe 3 to even 4 colors here on my eye, but I only have 2. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off this side with this color. Tap that on the highest point of the brow bone. That's pretty. All right, we're gonna add a little bit more definition. I'm gonna grab this on the tip of the brush. And remember, everything's set, so if we want to just lightly kind of twirl this back and forth through the socket, we can. And if you aren't sure on where to find your socket, it really helps to kind of look down and then look up. You'll see it, and then you can even kind of feel for it. So right here's mine, where mine kind of creepy, but right there, you'll feel that. You'll feel that socket. And what I'm doing is I'm going right under it. It even helps to kind of push it in there. Obviously, be very gentle. Don't get out of control. A lot of times I just do things as a visual. All right, I went a little wild. I'm actually gonna grab a C30. It's gonna be sharp enough to do this. We're grabbing some of that black eyeshadow. And I'm just gonna add some real definition here. I love it. Wow, that black is really nice. I'm telling y'all, $12. Y'all hear that kitty snoring? I know that using a black eyeshadow can be very intimidating, but a lot of times when we're using black eyeshadow, we're using a big fluffy brush. We're using this. We're even using this. This is the one that I've been using, the E28. But if you'll just grab something with a lot more precision, it's not going to get out of control. It really matters what brush that you're grabbing. Okay, magic is happening. I'm just kind of building this up. I'm using a concealer brush because all of these brushes, you can use them for just about anything. I'm even using it to blend. And then I'm going to tap it and kind of waterfall that into the green, because why not? It's really pretty. Now we're back into that very first color. And we're going to tap that on some more and just kind of blend into the black. I'm going to cheat y'all. It's been renamed so many times, but we're going to call it Siren Eyes just for kicks. I call it graphic liner. Kind of just pointy graphic liner. So what you're going to do first is you're going to grab an angled liner brush. This one's spicy. Yes, it is mine. But I tried them all and I wanted to make one that was special. And the reason I'm recommending this is because we're actually going to use black eyeshadow. I'm using the one from the palette. And this one is very soft. All of the fibers in the brush are incredibly soft. And the reason that is because the eye area is very sensitive. And when we start to bring in tiny brushes like this, our eye can start to water because it's a little pokey and it tickles. Even if it's not hurting, it tickles. So if we map this out with eyeshadow first, it's going to be so much easier. And I'm actually just going to map out the top part first. If we start to go in with liquid, gel, we're committed, but we're technically not committed yet. And we're going to go ahead and bring it out this way. I don't want it to connect. I might need to tidy that up a little bit. This part is what I'm saying. So I have a different C30 here and some micellar water. I'm just going to kind of clean up this area. We'll see that where that takes us. See, part of makeup is kind of knowing how to fix things. And I feel nobody talks about that. And that's what I'm going to show you with this Siren Eye situation. Even down to this. So you're thinking, well, there's a huge gap there. Well, let me show you how to fix it. But the reason I kind of clean this up is because with this whole Siren eye situation, it's connected. It can be connected or not, but we are going to connect it, but this needed to come up higher so it gives that elongated situation. So that's what I was doing here. But we'll still put the green there. I'm going to show you. Tiny brushes, y'all. I could have done this with the other one, but I think it fell on the floor and I didn't want to grab it. So I just grabbed an E27, tapping that lid color, that very first lid color, to about right there. And if you grab from here, it's just kind of going to tie everything back together. But also notice that I'm still tapping. I feel like this is a very important video, even though you might not enjoy this look. You're learning a lot about how to kind of evolve your makeup as you go, how to clean it. This is really important. So you might be thinking, but there's a lot of information here. And I could have added more base to make it more cohesive, but most of this is going to be covered anyways, so don't waste your time with that. So the trick is, we're still using eyeshadow. It's really just about making really thin lines. And we're gonna connect it out this way. This is very exaggerated, but it's Monday. All right, so finish this up and just bring your black eyeshadow all the way across, and we wanna try to keep this as thin as possible. But even I am gonna keep micellar water on hand. All right, we're getting to the cleanup part. Micellar water, it's your friend. Gotta have it. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna start to clean all this up, because we have to clean all of this up around here before we start to draw. Look at that already kind of transforming. Before we start to draw any kind of liner. Now I'm just gonna follow what we traced. And since we already have that eyeshadow laid down, we don't have to work as hard. So if your eyes are sensitive, look at that. And this one does not bleed. It goes where I place it. Do you know what a big deal that is? That it's not going into the little crevices here? All right, so we're extending this further. And I want you to notice, see, even I mess up, but that's what micellar water's for. But I do want you to notice that I'm turning my head to the side. So if you turn your head all the way, I'm looking into a mirror, but I want you to look into your mirror. And instead of trying to do this straight on, turn your head to the side. And then you'll see this is going down while this is drastically going up. And that's all Siren eyes is. This down, this up. Micellar water. Crisis averted. All right, let me hop off, and I want to go film that video because the artist in me is just needing to. But I'm going to come back because we have to finish underneath here. But I will say, you can't finish under here until you get your foundation and concealer on. Wait, I just remembered. I can do this and film at the same time. And there's sorry, I'm feral. Normally I talk during my videos, but these I don't have to talk. So I can still, I forgot that I can do this. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't have to go anywhere. By the way, I added Ardell 576s because I know that the lash band is almost non-existent. And when you have a very thin line like this, you need a very tiny lash band. We're gonna do the Milk Makeup Primer. And I love this one. Let me look at that. I love this one through the center of my face. And then y'all know I've been absolutely loving this. This is an eye mask from Elemis, and underneath my concealer, it's magic. Now I remember I used this, and oh, I'm a mess. And I did think it was absolutely beautiful, but this shade is just so yellow. So I am gonna hop off and fix it, but you're gonna see it in the video. Banana in a pajama. So before and after. I do remember it feeling really lightweight, but having a whole lot of coverage. Look at how pretty that is. Look at that match. Whew. I think I almost know what I'm doing when it comes to makeup. Almost. I'm loving this application right now. I'm itchy. Jean. I went and gave Jean a little kiss. So, E29. This right here. I'm actually using this one today, and the reason I'm going to use mostly this color and this color is because I want to top it with my Exa Pink Corrector. I'm kind of inspired today. I'm having some fun, just playing around in makeup. Absolutely feral. This is the Exa Pink Corrector. I use a touch of concealer and then we top it with this. If we put it underneath, it just gets covered. So dense brush to keep focused where we really want to brighten. Fluffy E29 here to buff out the edges. Y'all, I'm doing too much today, but I'm having fun. So let me live my makeup life. This, okay, it's from the Crayon Case and it's a highlighter concealer. Highlighter does not always mean shimmer. There's no shimmer, but it's basically a more intense version of the Exa one that I was using. And I'm going right underneath that and kind of transitioning it into a blush because I'm absolutely feral and it's fun. Plus I love green and pink together. This is so much fun. That's a bright under eye. Givenchy pink powder today. Telling you, I'm just time of my life out here on a Monday. And before we set that, let's tap it back in. Then we set. I don't want to run out of slides, so I'm just going to finish the eye. You'll see the rest in the video. That's pretty. Grab your angled brush again, black eyeshadow. Now we can really extend it. But look at the control that we have. It's that easy. It's giving penguin beak. I'm gonna make a video on this because it needs to be documented and I will not be this powdery in a second. I'm having fun, let me live. Very dry concealer. You need a very, very dry concealer for this type of cleanup. I call this type of concealer a working concealer. It's gonna be a little bit too dry for underneath my eye, but for cleaning up and perfecting, it's perfection. I have so much control of it and I can just layer a little bit right on top of what I have going on. Look at how sharp that is. It's things like this that I wanted to learn. Okay, let me show you the rest. Remember the concealer brush? Tap it in. Look at that already. And it's not going to disturb and lift anything because it's just so, you're using such a tiny amount. Back with the puff. Good to go. The difference. I'll do a whole video on it. I'll go way more in depth, even though this was pretty in depth, but there's still more that you need to learn. Okay, I don't want to run out of slides, so I'm going to be done here, but you're going to see everything and all the details when I'm finished. I love you.
Saved you, and so life is still yours.